Don't mind me, guys. I'm just testing things out here. Well, you're in luck because this is my first live stream. You guys are going to have to let me know how the audio is, because I have no idea how this is coming through. Okay, I think I have everything set up, so let's go ahead and get into this, all right? Let's go. Let's go. First live stream. Here we go. What's going on, everybody? How we doing on this wonderful Friday the 13th? So what are we thinking? Do we think that the Hodgetwins are going to ask Candace hard questions? Or do we think it's just going to be a softball interview? What are we thinking? Me personally, I think it's damage control. I think Candace is only going to do interviews with people who she knows aren't going to ask her hard questions. Because as we know, when people even ask her the slightest difficult or give her the littlest bit of pushback, she doesn't do so well. Let's get this thing going with the Hodgetwins, shall we?
Hodgetwins. podcast. It's gonna be a damn good show.
Hey, Candace, it's so great that you could meet up with us. Thank you for giving us your time today.
No, I'm glad we could make it work. I know we were trying to do it in person, but it turns out I never make it out there. So
Yeah. Hey, before we get started, I wanted to give
How's
our
the audio,
condolences
guys? Is
to
it all
you.
right?
I know you and Charlie were really close, so I can't imagine what this has been like for you. Because when we saw what happened, it was very traumatic for us, and we only met him a couple of times.
Yeah, I probably spoke maybe 100 words to Charlie, but it felt like I lost a family member that day.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people felt that, which was really interesting. Like the impact of his assassination, I think, was not like anything we've ever seen. I actually met you guys through Charlie. Do you remember that? We did
right.
an event
Yeah.
together.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yes, I
it was
remember that, yeah.
well, Charlie and I were doing something, and we had you guys speaking.
Exactly.
And
In
we were
Washington.
backstage.
Yeah, in Washington, D.C. Yes.
True.
Mm-hmm.
Man, wow.
So it's been a time.
Where were you when that tragedy happened at the time?
Well,
I just want to clarify this before we get too far into this episode here. I am a Hodgetwins fan. I've been a Hodgetwins fan for quite a few years, actually. I used to watch them back when they did, it was Twin Muscle Workout, I believe was their channel. This was far before like they turned political and got into like current events and stuff. So this is going to be a tough one for me. It's going to be a tough one because I mean, I don't know what's going to happen, but you know, we don't know, but we know this is going to hurt. This is going to hurt. I actually went to one of their comedy shows. This was like right after the pandemic. So like things were starting to open back up a little bit. And one of the deals was there was a meet and greet afterwards. Super nice guys, right? Just not sure if anyway. So as time has gone on, I have become a little bit more, I guess, of a Steven Crowder fan. Hasn't always been the case. So Steven Crowder used to do like these, I mean, he might still do it actually. I don't watch him a ton, but he used to do these shows where he would dress up in really weird outfits and costumes to like mock the left. And I don't know, it was cringe. It was super cringe to me. So when I met the Hodgetwins, this was like right during that time when they started to get big. And I think Steven Crowder was one of the first people, like large names, that had them on their show. And I asked them, I was like, do you guys really think that Steven Crowder is funny? And it was like they hesitated and they were like, yeah. I was like, nah, there's no way. You're so full of shit. And they started busting out laughing. So I think I might have caught him there. I don't think that they thought Steven Crowder was that. I don't know. I'm putting words in their mouth, but just wanted to tell that story because this is going to hurt. This is really going to hurt to watch this.
I was here. I was upstairs prepping for my podcast show. We were just going to do a regular episode, and Savannah came downstairs and said, you know, Charlie's been shot.
I do too.
Yeah, it's just so crazy.
Yeah.
I couldn't even comprehend what she was saying.
Right. Yeah.
As obviously we just immediately canceled the show and sent everybody home.
Exactly.
And,
We did the exact same thing. So from the moment I found out he had been shot, we went to trying to find out if he's okay. And then when I saw the video, we couldn't function for like 3 days. We just went home.
Yeah. The majority of the world, except for Turning Point USA, I think felt that way, which is remarkable. I think everybody shut things down, didn't do things the next day, the day after. And I just, there was something almost like spiritual about what happened. And the amount
That
of emails
seems
that
to be
I
the case, Jennifer.
received
That
the
seems to
exact
be
same
the case.
effect of how impacted people were. And some people who had never even heard of him, you know, people that have never been to the United States, they just something about that video and the way that he died. And we've obviously seen a lot of violence and a lot of crimes over the years, but that was something different.
Yeah.
Right. Now, I want to get to talk to you about your show. Like, it's been a lot of people attacking you on your work about Charlie's assassination. It seems like they really misunderstand what your show is about. It's like, from my perspective, is you're not making any declarations about who killed him or what happened. It's like you putting out things that you're following, like leads, and then you putting it out to the public to share with everybody what's going on and what information you have. Am I right about that?
Yeah, it has been very strange to see the immediate reaction that people had. Some people, not I would not say the majority opinion,
Hmm.
obviously,
Hmm.
but the people in media were certainly offended at the prospect of people investigating what happened on that day, which to me signals
Is that really the problem people have been having, Candace? Is that people are investigating what happened that day? Is that really what the problem is? Is this what she's going to say? No, I think the problem people have is that you are implicating with zero evidence innocent people, and not just innocent people, the people closest to Charlie. I think that's why I don't even want to use the word attack, confronting. I think that's why they're confronting you and your claims.
that there was a foregone conclusion, and that
She's really
foregone
going to do
conclusion
that.
was Tyler Robinson did it and he acted alone. And you could just see that there was a lot of money that was backing this idea that to even investigate anything
They
regarding what
definitely
happened
are
on
not
September 10th
probably watching very much
was a
Candace at
sin
all.
greater than what happened on September 10th. It was
Right.
unbelievable.
Hmm.
Right. And it's looks like a lot of these attacks are coming from the right, which is shocking to me.
Yeah, it's like they've been trying to label you as a grifter.
And just trying to discredit you as a grifter.
Yeah. To be honest, it has not been the right, but it has been the Zionists on the right.
Oh,
And
Oh, okay. So it's not the right, guys. It's just a specific group of people on the right, the Zionists. Though, I think we should probably clarify something since I guess I'm one of those people she's referring to. I'm on the right, Candace. And guess what? I don't know that I would consider myself a Zionist. And I think there's a lot of people who don't consider themselves Zionists on the right that think what you're doing is a joke. Just going out on a limb here, but I sure do feel like I'm not the only one.
I
Yeah,
think
that's a huge distinction.
which is a huge distinction. Yeah,
Mhm,
because I think the right has been infiltrated by the never
Well, that
Trumpers,
just
and
happened.
sure they call themselves the right, but they're not. They're just the pro-Israel.
Excuse me?
If they have to be on the left to support Israel, then they're on the left. You know, they were happy to try to assist Hillary Clinton in winning back in 2016 because they were so virulently anti-Trump. But now they love Trump, and even though they wanted DeSantis, they love Trump. And so we're just dealing with neocons, and there's nothing actually conservative about them. You know, they have some talking points. I'd like lower taxes, but
I do also want to clarify really quick, guys. If you are a Zionist, it's okay with me. It's okay by me.
and they are pro-war all the time, which obviously makes entirely no sense.
yeah.
There has definitively been, you could see where the line is. If you support Israel, you do not support the investigation into who killed Charlie Kirk. I wonder why.
Right. It's almost like they're scared what you're going to find, whether it's going to be something, nefarious and turning
Try
point,
this
or it's
again.
going to eventually lead to Israel. That's the gist I get from it. It's like they're scared that you're digging, that you're asking a question. That's like one of Charlie's biggest motto is like, keep asking questions. That's how you know we're still free. And it's like they're going away from what Charlie really wanted Turning Point to become.
Yeah. And to be clear, Charlie died allowing people to ask him questions,
Right.
to prod narratives. And they're trying to convince us that his legacy will only be protected if we all agree not to ask any questions about how he died.
Can you guys help me out? Is all of this pushback because of the Israel implications, or is it because of the Erika Kirk implications? Granted, the Israel implication was expected, I guess, but there's no evidence of that. But I'm pretty sure most of the pushback is because of the Erika Kirk crap that she's been doing and that her followers have been doing long before she started pushing it. Because remember, at first she was really, dipping her toes in the water on that one. She would come out and she was kind of defending Erika a little bit, or she was asking, like I forget what episode, but she's asking her chat, what should I attack Erika Kirk on? She's done nothing, right? Remember that episode? So she's been dipping her toes in that water a little bit, but isn't that what most of this pushback is for the Erika Kirk and TPUSA stuff? Am I wrong?
Which doesn't make sense. And they've, despite having tons of money and financing that sort of psychological operation, it has failed. It has failed because people realize that what is obvious is they are not
the only
upholding
one.
any of the values.
There's a lot of them.
That Charlie held dear, and free speech would be primary among them. The values that he held dear. And so it has been an interesting time, and I agree with you. Most people were not comforted by the fact that Bibi Netanyahu felt it necessary in the immediate aftermath to declare that he didn't kill Charlie Kirk.
That was evil.
And that it was very strange. I don't know if you felt the need to say that on your podcast. I didn't feel the need to come out and say that on my podcast.
Right.
It's not a normal thing to feel that you need to declare immediately after somebody is shot and killed that you.
Okay, did Bibi just come out and immediately declare that? You guys, refresh my memory here a little bit. Weren't they automatically like instantly getting accusations, and wasn't he on with some news reporter who was bringing up the accusations that Israel had something to do with it, and then he said no? Like, he didn't correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's the timeline of those events, is that the accusations for Israel started immediately. And then in an interview, it was brought up to him, and then he gave his response. I could be wrong, but if memory serves me correctly, that's what happened. If I'm wrong, let me know.
Didn't kill them unless you most certainly did.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Like, I was really upset when it happened because a few months before.
Nikki, that's what I thought.
There was a man on the roof that tried to take out President
Maybe
Trump.
I'm wrong.
And it's like, that's the first thing I would look at as the security. If I was security for Charlie,
already,
I always keep an eye on the roof. It's like common sense. How does someone get up on the roof?
Yeah.
How do they allow something like that to happen?
Because if anybody's going to try to take someone's life, it's always going to be from a distance.
Right.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And when we obviously were then subjected to Brian Harpole's very unconvincing interview with Sean Ryan, he shows one text message that's not even his. It's actually Dan Flood's. And he says, look, we asked about roof access. And we got one response that said, yeah, I'll look into that for you. And that's all they did. And as I was investigating, I determined that they absolutely were only referring to that walkway that was behind Charlie.
Yeah,
they
she does that a lot.
Early. They never did a walkthrough. The only thing they were concerned about, and they kept insisting to the UVU police, was that they wanted to make sure that Charlie's car had a clean exit. That was their primary concern. The university had advised against Charlie doing an event outside in that location because of the fact that they could not control traffic flow. So that makes sense. If we can't check your tickets and make sure you're here for this event and know who you are, you're a sitting duck. And despite this, Turning Point insisted that that's what Charlie wanted. He wanted to be outdoors. And so they even declined the security recommendations from both the police and UVU. So
that's amazing.
Definitely is very strange.
Yeah. I mean, when you work with Charlie, I mean, he didn't build that organization alone. Honestly, you had a big part in that. When y'all went to these Q&As, how effective was security? I mean, I would think y'all would have like president level security.
That event was nothing like anything I had ever seen.
The fact that they think that a civilian would have president level security is a little telling. Why would a civilian have president of the United States level security? What? How much money do they think these people have? Granted, TPUSA is doing pretty well, but president level security, guys?
Allege on the Turning Point side that Charlie had done some outdoor event. I think it was here actually in Tennessee. And he had then loved that sort of Coliseum setup, the amphitheater setup so much that he wanted that going forward. So that was something recently that they said that he was demanding. Obviously, no, of course, basic security protocol. Even if I said, I really want this,
Right.
the security team would say, well, you really can't have this because it's just not secure.
Right.
And everyone is telling you not to do this. And clearly, what Charlie wanted, Charlie didn't get at his organization. You could see that even in terms of how they were controlling who could come speak. So the idea.
So if Charlie wanted to do something, really wanted to do something, and his security was like, no, no, no. I don't know about you guys, but I would just fire my security team and hire a new security team and tell them, hey, this is what I want to do. I'm hiring you. I'm paying you to do a job. So do your job so I can do what I want to do. What is she talking about?
That this one thing they allowed him to push through and say, oh no, he's got to have that Coliseum set up doesn't ring true to me. It seems like somebody else was pushing for that. Of course, the security could have said to him no, especially because he's contracting them and their reputations are on the line. There was no pushback at all. There was only push forward on the Turning Point USA side, the security apparatus. Typically, of course, there's traffic control. There are tickets. They know who's buying those tickets and people are reserved. So that was just all completely violated. Anybody could have walked up and sat down in that event if they wanted to. Everything that I saw, even from Terrell being there, was the first time that that's ever happened. He's the guy who notoriously filmed himself after Charlie got shot and said Charlie's dead within 2 minutes. And then right after that, rather than running toward this person that he's worked with for over a decade or calling 911, it's amazing. None of them thought to call 911. He runs down to remove the cameras.
And didn't.
So one of my first questions was, why was Terrell there? I've done tons of events. Terrell doesn't go to these school events. And they said, well, we were trying something new that day. Like what? An assassination? Like,
Yeah,
I don't,
that's
what were
weird.
you trying
You
to
don't
do?
try things new in the middle of a Q&A. That
Yeah.
is
And
stupid.
even stranger is that
So to me, that's more just a coincidence than anything else, than evidence of anything nefarious. If there's any time that you are going to try something new, there's going to be a first time trying something new. It just so happens it happened that day. Had nothing happened at UVU, nobody would even know that they were trying something new. So, like, to me, that's a moot point. It makes no sense. Like, oh, look at, they were trying something new that day. Yeah, to try, like, you have to try something new at some point if you're gonna do something different. That's such a stupid argument.
Terrell, they were trying something new that day, but don't forget they had scheduled Charlie to have an event just 10 days later at UVU. He also had an event later that week at Colorado. Terrell wasn't slated to be there. So they were not just trying something new. They were trying something new for just one day that required Terrell. There was no communication between Terrell and the events team for the events that were in the immediate future. There was no security planned for the event that Charlie had the very next day at Colorado.
I don't know that you could plan something for an event in the future when you're trying something new because you don't know how well it's going to go over. When you try something maybe it wasn't going to go well. Who knows? But there's no reason to schedule something for the future if you're not sure how it's going to go yet. So you try something new. If it goes well, guess what? You probably use it again. This is like, what? What is she saying?
There was no communication. No. So it's almost like the security knew that that event was not going to take place.
You know what's crazy? Like when what happened to President Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania? Conservatives really attacked the FBI. We really went after them. So that was an inside job. They're trying to
Secret Service.
Yeah.
I mean,
the incompetence that the
they
females-
earned it if you did.
What they were doing that day, it's like we really went after the FBI, the people that was in charge of protecting him, right? And it's like when we go trying to go after the truth about Charlie Kirk, it's like people start labeling us like bad faith actors and conspiracy theorists. Yeah. Why do you think the switch up? Why is he trying to label people on the right just trying to really find out about Charlie? Why are they trying to paint us as like just grifters and conspiracy theorists?
Because the boss has a boss. Trump took 200 million from Miriam.
Because for whatever reason, these people, they don't want to look at the evidence. Granted, it's not a lot at the moment, but like, have they even read the charging documents? Do they even know what it is, the evidence that the prosecution is claiming that they have? Are they even aware? Have they watched anything from the trial that's happened so far? Probably not. Or I feel like they wouldn't be pushing as many conspiracy theories as they have been. Like and I know that the argument is, well, we don't have anything. This is just what they're saying they have, right? A prosecution is not going to claim that they have evidence that they don't have. That would just be stupid.
Adelson, Charlie stepped on Bibi Netanyahu's toes when he went head to head to him over Iran, back in May, I believe, was when it was Operation Midnight Hammer, when we bombed Fort Dow, and Bibi wanted a full front war at that time, and Charlie convinced the president that that was not a good idea, and he stood up to the entire Zionist lobby.
But they're kind of funny, though.
I think Bibi viewed him as problematic. They were very upset about Tucker's speech, and Charlie had said he was abandoning the, Israel cause. And so I think what you're seeing is that Trump has a boss. And so much of what we see in DC is just an illusion. I think we've always been aware that there is a deep state. And I would say that the proliferation of the deep state was certain.
I like how she said, I think we've always been aware that there's a deep state. Woman, you just hopped on this bandwagon a few years ago. What are you talking about? We've always been aware there's a deep state. You were running pro-Zionism just a few years ago. What are we talking about?
After JFK was assassinated in 1963.
Yeah, when I think of the deep state, I think of Israel. And that's how I really was drawn to Trump, because of the deep state and the shadow government controlling our government. We want to put America first. And
okay, no, maybe now when you think of Israel, or when you think of the deep state, you think of Israel. But come on, guys, back when you thought of the deep state, you thought it was the left. Well, these people just completely change their entire history in a few words. Every episode, it's new. When I think of deep state, I think of Israel. Man, you're on video talking about the left being the deep state, not a couple of years ago.
And so far, I think we're getting anything but that.
I agree. There has been a massive letdown. I think if there's one thing that I'm happy about, it's that we certainly proved the rhetoric was always MAGA is a cult. MAGA is a cult. Well, I think we've certainly proven that we are not. And when he started to go back on his promises, I mean, his consistent attacking of Thomas Massie. Can we get the energy that you have towards Thomas Massie, toward the investigation into who killed Charlie Kirk? That'd be great. It's not exactly what we were uniting behind. MAGA wasn't like, let's take down Thomas Massie. This is our number one problem.
How do any of these people know, like, how deep the investigation to Charlie Kirk is? If they are not sharing details about the investigation publicly, whether that be the Utah state authorities or the FBI, how would we know how much investigating that they're doing? Does Candace have a crystal ball? She knows how much investigating they've done. So on one hand, right, they're complaining about no transparency. But on the other hand, they seem to pretend to know all of the investigation. Well, which you can't have it both ways. Can't have it both ways. So making claims like they're not doing they're not investigating this properly. How do you know what they've done in the investigation? Is there an FBI YouTube channel that I'm not aware of where they do like daily podcasts and talk about the current investigation? I feel like you wouldn't do that in an investigation, right? You wouldn't talk about it. You would investigate. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy or stupid, but
Right. Right.
And so it's almost like somebody has his phone and somebody is telling him what to say, when to say it, and that's you just don't get $200 million and not owe somebody. And
Right.
$200
Right.
million
Right.
dollars, it seems to
Yeah.
me, seems to have been the cost for this
I think
administration.
his attacks on Thomas Massey and Marjorie Greene is when he calls them names, it's like an ulterior motive that he's not sharing with MAGA. I think he's doing it for foreign interests, and he's not really putting America first. Like his attacks on Marjorie
Yeah.
Greene, calling her a traitor. I remember when I went to one of his rallies and I met Marjorie, and she was discussing about I really think they're trying to put Trump in jail, and she looked very concerned. She was very worried about him, and then to see him to go on TV and to call her a traitor, it's like it really pissed me off.
I think a lot of us felt that way for the exact same reason. People that took real risks to support him, people that were willing to be tarnished, have their reputations tarnished for supporting him when it was not popular to do so. You see how quickly he will flip on you if you don't worship his perspectives, because he needs the compliment that what he's doing is right, even when it's wrong. And Charlie was that rare person who would tell him the base is not going to like this, as he did with our involvement in Iran. Like, this was one of your promises that we weren't going to get involved, and you're not delivering on that. He no longer has that perspective in his ear. So he has just a bunch of Zionists telling him, showing him articles that have been written by Zionists. Everybody loves you. This is great. And you can see that misdirection. It's like he's putting things out there that are so obviously not going to make his base happy. And you have to wonder who is informing these terrible perspectives.
Yeah,
And
maybe.
the answer is Israel's entire apparatus that has infiltrated. And so he's not even, I don't even really think there's a conversation to be had about what Trump's going to do anymore. It's Bibi Netanyahu. What does Bibi Netanyahu want? And what is America going to get?
Do you think that's hurting his base going forward? Like Republican voters, like in the next presidential election? Do you think the Republicans are going to lose a lot of steam if they feel like the Republican nominee is going to be an Israel first president?
Left and right. If you are Israel first, you're probably not going to secure the nomination. That's what I would say.
I'll take that bet. I'll be willing to take that bet. I don't think, I mean, if you come out as a candidate on the left or the right, there are certain areas in this country you're still going to get the nomination. You still, left or right, for let me just try to play this out in my head, okay? The left, especially the left, they are going to vote every time. Every election, they are going to turn out and vote. The only ones who are not going to turn out and vote are people that buy into people like Candace Owens, who are basically telling you, not outright don't vote, but they're implying it by saying, I'm not voting. I'm done voting. The left is still going to vote, regardless of who their candidate is. Vote blue no matter who. That's the energy on the left. Won't make a bit of difference if they're a Zionist or pro-Israel or whatever. As long as they're not a right-wing fascist, they're going to vote for him.
But back to Charlie, I don't mean to flip-flop around. I've noticed Erika referred to Turning Point as family. And I know you said you was really close with Charlie. Y'all was like close friends. Y'all, without going into anything private, of course,
Probably won't
personal,
happen anytime soon.
Can you describe that dynamic, your relationship with Charlie? Like, did he confide in you, or did he use you as a resource when things was heavy at Turning Point, or he just needed a resource to fine-tune things?
Yeah,
crazy,
I mean,
isn't
Charlie
it?
and I came up
Crazy.
together. So, I mean, people don't know who you
That's true.
are, and then you find, some degree of fame, notoriety, whatever it is that you want to call it. And
To be fair, on that point, though, this one right here. On that point, I don't know that Candace has ever worked for anybody from the Islamic faith. She's only seemed to work for people who are either Zionists or Jews themselves. And they didn't like her and they all fired her. So Maybe that's why she's a little bent on the whole Israel Jewish thing. Could be wrong.
You are constantly in a state of war. So I feel like he was the person beside me in like a 300 battle. You know what I mean? It was constant, and forget it. And then the jealousy of when Kanye tweeted us, and then everyone came out of the woodwork, and you know, it brings a smile to my face because it was fun. It was a lot of work and it was fun, and we went everywhere, and we traveled everywhere, and we did it on a micro budget.
CJ's in the
terrible
chat,
hotels
sending in
that
5 gifted.
just pain me.
What's up, CJ?
Yeah,
Appreciate
it
that,
was
man.
one of the things that just laughing reading through all the messages, like this suitcase didn't go through at an airport. Walmart opens at 5 a.m. We have Fox at 6 a.m. Like, could you get to Walmart? Could you grab, that sort of a thing. So it was very much a brother and sister relationship. And of course, Charlie dating before he married Erika. So all of those things where he's confiding in who he likes, and I'm drafting text messages for him to send to this person or that person. I mean, I even showed the text message. I felt like I was basically dating these girls because I was like, should I said this? Should I said this? Should I wear this? I'm like, no, you shouldn't wear this. No, you should not send this.
Oh, wow.
Because I'm older than Charlie, so it was very much like big sister, younger brother, but more like smart guy. Tia Tamara, like your younger brother, also happens to be a genius.
Right. So you did everything for Charlie. You used to dress him up and everything, huh?
Just put myself through more pain and misery here,
Charlie
CJ.
with the baggy
Just
suits.
more
People
pain
who
and
knew Charlie
misery.
with the baggy suits. That was a phase, which has been one of the more upsetting things to me about like Don Trump, because Don was definitely his friend. He was a part of that, and I just expected Don to say more, and he didn't. But yeah, it brings a smile on my face. It was a time, and then I got engaged. Obviously, he started dating Erika the same year that I got engaged, and life takes you in different directions. And I could see the pull of Turning Point, what they wanted to build Turning Point into after the Kanye tweet, and I was against it. There was a lot of misconception regarding why I moved away from being the communications director. The reality is it was.
I'm not sure. It came out today, but I don't know when this was recorded.
I expressed that to Charlie, and I felt that the people that they were suddenly hiring were obsessed with money and power. And when Charlie got into it, it was truly for love of country. But people forget he was young. He was really young. You start an organization when you're 18. And to be in your early 20s, especially for men, like, it is true. Men mature later than women do. So
you don't want to know what I was doing at 18. That was horrible. Yeah, that's amazing.
Maybe that's true, but I'm sure that there are some men who mature quicker than the average, right? So just clearly Charlie was one of those. The fact that he was doing that at 18 is insane, right? Like overachiever big time, which is, whatever you want to say, right? Charlie had something in him that propelled him to where he got to. That is not in everybody, whether you're male or female.
It becomes very, I think, tantalizing. People are pulling you in different directions, and if you do this, you could be president, you could do that, and you can get mixed in very easily with the wrong people.
Barely even started.
And politics is a pit of snakes. It's actually hard not to end up with the wrong people. And I count myself among the naive, by the way. I was working for Daily Wire. I mean, that seems crazy to me, and that was just a few years ago.
Perk of you.
True.
Yeah. It is, there's an innocence to being young. There's a naivety to being young. It's so ridiculous when people pretend Charlie couldn't have made any mistakes in terms of who he selected as his lieutenants.
Right.
Clearly he did. He did.
Yeah. Do you think, I think Charlie was a great guy from what I've seen and when I met him, but do you think, like in an organization like that, do you think over time you'll be manipulated by money and just trying to keep the organization going? You'll sacrifice your integrity here just a little bit because the money is there and you need it to keep this bigger picture open.
I'd be curious who she was texting.
Going.
Yeah, I think that happens naturally. I mean, look, we're human, right? And there are, of course, going to be all of these pitfalls. We all have vices. And I just remember, I don't think I've ever showed it, but Charlie was he used to like draw out these little charts of his goals. He was very into writing his goals down. We used to write our goals down, and they were usually metrics, like numerical metrics. Like, by the end of this year, I want to have 10,000 Instagram followers, or, 20,000 Twitter followers, like those sorts of things, sort of envision these things. Yeah, but there was no question that he would show, this is how much I want to, raise financially. So we're using this metric of success as where my finances are at, which is not, totally wrong. If I did set down a chart and said, I want to make sure that I have 50.
Generally, if you want to create a business, finances are your metric of success. That's how businesses work. What is she talking about? If you start a business and the first year you do, let's just say 100,000 in sales or whatever, or in services, whatever your business is. And then the next year you do 50,000. By that metric, you're a failing business. If you do 100,000 the first year and you do 500,000 the next year, you're becoming a more successful business. That's sort of how metrics work, Candace. They're pretty much based on finances.
$1,000 in the bank by the time I'm 40, whatever it is. But then when you have the wrong people around you and they're telling you like, oh, this is the person you need to meet, this is the person you need to be, and you're ignoring the morality of that person or how that person became rich. I mean, Miriam Adelson, what is the Adelson legacy? It's gambling.
True.
It's pharmaceuticals. Then you can get yourself into trouble.
It was one of the last things he talked about.
So it sounds like y'all had different versions for Turning Point. Y'all started to go at separate ways. You met your husband, he met his wife, and then over time, seems like Charlie started to miss your input, and he probably started to determine that, hey, maybe this is not the course I want to take. Turning Point. Did he make that confession to you?
We never stopped touring together. I stopped being communications directors, but then we just went on tour. And so we never fell out of communication. We always spoke. We were speaking a lot about faith towards the last year, I would say, 2024, 2025, last 2 years.
Prove it.
Speaking about faith, because
show me those messages, Candace.
The Zionist question was coming up. So that was definitely catalyzing that discussion. And obviously what he saw that was done to me, he knew who.
How come she hasn't shown any of those text messages? That I would like to see those. If she was talking to Charlie about faith and about God over the last year and a half, 2 years prior to 9/10, I would like to see those. Share those, Candace.
Who I was. He didn't like what happened. He didn't like the Daily Wire had done to me. He was very clear and vocal in his support for me. So it led to the political questions, led to philosophical questions. The philosophical questions led to spiritual questions. And so for sure, Charlie was changing. There's no question that Charlie was changing, and he was considering Catholicism, which
100%. You need money to grow an organization.
Donor base,
and the more money you have, the bigger the organization's going to get.
And
that is a measure of
we
success.
Obviously showed the squeeze that he was going through toward the end, trying to maintain friendships with Tucker, and he was done in the end. I mean, on September 9th, the day before he died, he was texting people saying, I want Candace back at AmFest, because he had allowed Zionists to peer pressure him into not inviting me. Because I was going through my Daily Wire thing, and they control the money, they make the demands, and he was just done with it. He expressed that to people, said, I don't care about the money anymore. So for him to make that,
I think she did one show, wasn't it? Was it just one show with TPUSA, or were there a few of them?
Declaration on the 9th, and then to be done on the 10th. I suppose that's BB's fortune. He's just fortunate that way, or something, that he was asserting that he was done with Israel. And then the next thing you know, he was gone, and Israel was trying to control his legacy and to pretend that period of transition wasn't happening. And it was. And obviously that's why it was.
Charlie wasn't asserting that he was done with Israel. Guys, that whole little text thread is so annoying. And it's not annoying because it's a difficult thing to argue. It's because context is important. Understanding the surrounding circumstances to that message thread are important, and we don't have that. Somebody like me, right? Or I think most of us, we would look at that, right? And we come to the conclusion that he's venting, because even in that thread, he makes a threat. Well, you don't make a threat if you're not upset and venting about something. And what was his threat? His threat was, I'm going to bring Candace Owens. That's his threat. What was it? They were mad at him because he wouldn't pull Tucker off of the show or something along those lines, right? So they pulled money, a Jewish donor. And then he even made the comment that Jewish donors live up to the stereotypes. They're play into all the stereotypes. Like that's a venting, almost kind of joke, right? It's sort of like an insult. And then he follows it up with, leaves me no choice but to leave the pro-Israel cause or whatever. Like, using that as any type of evidence that Charlie Kirk was 100% going to come out publicly against Israel, you have to be brain dead.
Really important for me to get out the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
After his death, everyone noticed, the left and the right, how Erika was grieving. Like at his funeral, when she came out to those pyrotechnics.
Yeah, or just venting.
The way she was dressed, I bit my tongue. I thought it was weird, but everybody grieves differently. And I fed into that. Everybody grieves differently. I don't think anybody grieves like that.
It's one of these things, these like psychological tricks, that they always argue in the extremities, right? So it's like everybody, when they're growing up, like, you know, you're a girl or you're a boy when you're born, right? And then they'll be like, but what about this percentage of people that are actually born and they're hermaphrodite? That therefore means that, you know, gender dysphoria is real because this could have happened. And you're like, whoa, please stop arguing in the extremes. Like you are not an exception. There is this whole realm of rules, and let's stop arguing with the exceptions, okay?
Right.
Personally, the only exception that I have seen to the rule of grieving in this manner with the pyrotechnics and the glitter and the laughter is Erika. Now, I've seen other ways of grieving.
Oh, yeah. God forbid, guys. God forbid. Erika just lost her husband, but God forbid she pays homage to her husband by having a fireworks display at a show. Oh, no. Oh, she must be in on it, guys. She must be in on it. She's smiling. Can you believe it? She's out in public and she has the audacity to smile and maybe laugh at a joke. How dare her? How dare her? She should publicly be just a wreck all the time. She should just get cameras, put them everywhere, and just be crying and sobbing and broken. She should not at all put on any type of happy face for the public, especially now being CEO and wanting to lead the company and show that, you know what, we're gonna strive on. We're gonna carry on my husband's legacy and we are gonna do great things. No, she's supposed to just, I don't know, curl up in the fetal position and make sure that every time there's a camera in her face that she's not being a human fucking being. What a dumb thing to say. She's so stupid, guys. Candace, and this is manipulation, right? Candace isn't this dumb. Like, I'm still giving her the benefit of the doubt on a lot of this, that she's being a very disingenuous person. Because I just can't imagine that anybody is actually this stupid.
As in people who just, don't want to be seen for a while, or people who drink. You know, there's all of these other ways that people grieve, people who get into drugs, whatever it is. But generally, we recognize as humans what is within the realm of normal grieving. And this was the first time I've seen it done in this way, especially when you add into the fact that this was a public execution. And the entire world had a normal spiritual response to that, as we discussed earlier. We would therefore expect, since people who did not know Charlie could not
better
get out
than
of bed,
me,
that you would perhaps
I still have some hope
out of his wife.
for
And then if you remove that
some
part, if you
people,
remove
I guess.
the CEO, maybe, okay, some people want to throw themselves into work. It certainly helps me to get back to some sense of normalcy. not in that regard of wanting to become the CEO of a chairman of a company. But even if you removed all of that, I think the part that no one can make an excuse for is not instantly worrying about the safety of your kids.
Right.
If you
right.
just watch your husband be assassinated and you realize my kids only have one parent left, and I don't know how this happened, your natural instinct is to not leave your children's side.
Right. Great
And
point.
so I think that to me was the loudest part. You know, you have your pyrotechnics, say you want to be the CEO, but to be present and at the office.
No, man. Now we're gonna. Is this what we're gonna get going forward from Candace Owens? Parenting lectures? Is that what we're gonna get? Oh, I can't wait. Can't wait. Oh, please, Candace, tell us all how to be better parents to our children. Would you? Would you? Because we're all out here failing, Candace. You're obviously the perfect parent. So you should just start a whole new series on that. Forget your stupid little book club. Start a parenting school. Teach everybody how to be the perfect parent.
Every day, days later, that doesn't track.
Right. Yeah. You released a voicemail of Erika talking to.
Okay, so far, guys, the Hodge twins haven't let me down in my assumptions. They haven't pushed back on one thing. I'd be curious to see like what the conversation exchange was between these two, between Hodge twins and Candace Owens. I wonder if she had like stipulations on stuff that they're not allowed to ask, stuff that they are allowed. You know what I mean? Like, or you can't say this or don't say that, or I'm not going to talk about this. I would be curious to see, like, did they have to submit questions prior to? Wouldn't surprise me at all.
Who she was talking to, but she was sharing some of the financials over the funeral of Charlie and how much money they made. It's just, it sounds like she was gloating about the money and she didn't really care about, I mean, I don't know. I'm not trying to offend anybody. It's just like you was happy about the money and how good it went. And your husband's past it's like you almost forgot about your husband because it was a financial success.
So I just
Okay, let me just kind of quarterback this for a second. So your husband was just unalived, okay? Very big, very, very big individual, right? Big as in a lot of followers, famous, use whatever terms you want to use. He just passed. He's the head of a very large organization. You are now the head of that organization. Do you think maybe she might have had a little doubt in herself? Do you think maybe she was dealing with some insecurities, some fear, not knowing how she's going to be able to carry this forward, not knowing if she's going to do a good job, not knowing what happens next because of what just happened to her husband? So they go into that event, right? Charlie's memorial. And it's a huge turnout. They raise a bunch of money. They do a ton of sales. She's the CEO. You don't think that like that made her happy to know that there were going to be people that come out and support TPUSA, even though Charlie is no longer there? Not to mention she's the CEO. She's going to report good news like that to people to let them know, hey, this is great, guys. I think we're going to be okay. You're going to keep your jobs, except for certain people there, right? But TPUSA is going to move forward. Like, of course she's going through some type of self-doubt, some uncertainty, a little bit of fear. And that probably was reassuring to her.
You how I experienced that call. I was spiritually disturbed by it. That's the truth, and everyone was.
No, everybody was not spiritually disturbed by that call. People who are normal human beings would watch that, think about it for 2 seconds, and go, "Yeah, nothing wrong with that at all. Absolutely nothing wrong with how she's acting in that call, or nefarious." Or even suspicious, unless you're a moron.
This is 11 days, not even 2 weeks after your husband was assassinated. You are referring to the memorial as the event of the century and discussing how much money you
Right.
made
There's
off of selling
nothing she
t-shirts
could
and
do. They would
hats.
pick
And
apart
then it almost felt
anything
like it
she
was
chose to do.
obligatory for her to then realize, like, oh, I should say something about Charlie. And it's like, oh, Charlie's dancing in heaven. He's like, get to work. And then, you know, he's up there and he's like, more hats. I feel like if he's up there, he's probably like, please figure out what happened to me, because they're lying to you, obviously, if we're doing that. So that contrast and sort of what I really felt from it was emotional manipulation. They were manipulating people to think that it was almost like divine, that they were
could be
part of this
bad.
turning point family, and we've experienced this together. And the best way that we can cope with this tragedy is to work harder and to work longer days and weekends and 20 hours, because that's what Charlie would want. Like, that's what makes Charlie dance in heaven. It made me feel disgusted to listen to it, if I'm being frank. As even if you didn't know Charlie, that was the general feeling.
Yeah,
and
like
except for the media, who keeps trying to tell us.
Yeah, screw the hats, screw the money. I'd rather have my husband. That's
right.
I'm like, why are you even saying these things?
I was even expecting, like, okay, if you're going to say, like, if that's me and I'm like, I'm going to get to work. And for me, I then got obsessed because at first I couldn't watch the clip.
GS70, I completely missed your super chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Chat says, heck no, I will quit my day job because my wife passed. LOL. Right. Exactly my point. Yep. She's supposed to just completely collapse and give up on life. That's what she's supposed to do, guys. And if they don't do that, they're not a normal human being.
My husband didn't let me watch it. So I saw the clip from afar of him getting shot, but I did not see the clip of him up close. And I'm glad he didn't let me watch that, because I wasn't, I couldn't have dealt with that. It was a lot. Then I watched it obsessively, and I watched every single angle, and I organized, this angle from the side, left. And so my work was dedicated to trying to figure out what happened that day, who was there, what are the names of the people. Even if she had jumped on that call, the one that was 5 days later before the event, and said, here's what we're going to do. Like, the events team, I want a list of every person that was there. I want, this, I want that. I want to know every single minute. Terrell, you bring me the tapes. Then I would say, okay, she's getting to work to solve who killed her husband.
Right.
But it wasn't that. Right. It was like, I fully accept the narrative on day 5. Here's what we're going to do. We got to plan for the memorial. That's missing. You can't skip that process. You can't skip it. And looking at Vanessa Bryant, Kobe Bryant's wife, she went through all of the right emotions. She was suing everybody. She was angry. She
went over all of the right emotions. What? I can't believe she just said those exact words. Look at Kobe Bryant's wife. She went through all of the right emotions. If you don't behave in exactly the same way that this person does, you're wrong. Oh man, she said that. She said those words.
Grieved. There were no pyrotechnics at the memorial event.
Right.
Even the differences in her speech, like Erika is talking about turning point, what turning point's going to be. You didn't get to learn who Charlie was in that speech. It was like he was just a company. And Vanessa's speech, she speaks about her daughter and all the things she's going to miss about her daughter, things that we didn't know about Kobe. Like, we were invited into that because we knew him as a basketball player, but this was her husband. And she spoke about what it was like not knowing that she wasn't going to be there when Gianna got married. And I say to people, you should challenge yourself to go watch Vanessa's speech and then compare it to Erika's memorial speech, and you will see what is missing here.
Right. Yeah. Right. It doesn't seem real.
Right. Doesn't seem real because, God, it's crazy that 2 different people would act in 2 different ways. You don't say. Crazy. Must mean she's guilty, guys.
But the way you explained yourself, and like, I just wanted to show the human side of you, because I see the attacks people are trying to make on you. It's like, you genuinely want to find out who killed your best friend. That's the vibe I get. And from what I see from the people on the right, I mean, I'm not even call them on the right. I would say Zionist.
Yeah.
Ben's in the chat. Where's Ben?
Republicans.
Did I miss Ben?
But I think it's if you were getting 10,000 views and wasn't making any money while you were doing it, I don't think they would have a problem.
There's Ben.
I think they're pretty much pissed off at your success.
Yeah.
But you were having a lot of great success before this Charlie Kirk incident happened.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I mean, that was they have nothing to judge me on, and that's what they're really upset with. Is these are the people that actually tried to grift off of his death. They sold T-shirts, they sold hats. I mean, Turning Point USA made a.
In all fairness, I don't know that they've ever made the claim that they're smart. That's never been their, like, so this interview, like, there was no way they were going to be combative in any way, shape, or form with this interview. That just wasn't going to happen. Like, I had a little bit of hope that maybe they would have some integrity and want to push back a little bit, but
$250 million in a couple of months. So it's just stunning that Erika sits up on Fox News and she says to people that are making tens and thousands of dollars on YouTube, okay, $250 million grift. Like, are you kidding me? In a couple of months? Like, that's just wild to me because they were referring to YouTubers even that were speaking about like the ballistic ones that were going viral. Do you understand how much money they're making? I'm like, yeah, no, actually, do you understand how much money they're making? Because it's a drop in the bucket compared to what Turning Point USA has made. Like, they're trying to make it seem like everybody on YouTube now went from making $0 to hundreds of thousands of dollars or something like that, which couldn't be further from the truth.
That might be the case, that they just don't have the balls to do it. It might also be that they just know how this game works, that in order for Candace to give them an interview, it's going to have to go a certain way. And that if they did try to do any type of pushback, there's a very good, so this wasn't in person. There's a very good chance that Candace could have or would have just ended the stream quick. So I think it's a little bit of everything there.
Our podcast was already top 10 globally.
Right.
Don't forget, this is part of why Brigitte is suing me, because she's saying that my podcast was successful only because I found out that she has a penis, right? Like, it can't be everyone keeps saying this. When I did the Kamala Chronicles and we were top 3 globally at the end of last year, they were like, oh, it's only because of the election. And then when the Blake Lively series went viral and Blake Lively's people issued a statement, it was like, oh, it's only because of Blake Lively. It's like, calm down. Like, calm down, narcissists. It's because I'm dedicated to investigating things that I'm passionate about. And you could not have stumbled upon something that I am going to be more passionate about than finding out what happened to Charlie, because, and I explained this to my husband, it felt like there was a part of my political life, like a political.
This is absolutely true. And the twins know this. Not to mention the twins have kind of a, what's the word I'm looking for? They're past, they're not squeaky clean guys. Like, they've told stories about things that they've done in the past. And one of those, I'm just going to, I don't know how many of you are familiar with Hodgetwins, but one of their stories about an experience they had is, and I'm going to try to make this as YouTube friendly as possible. A husband had them, the two twins, come and do things with his wife while he did things watching. Now, that's a story that they've told. So yeah, Candace would absolutely turn on them, and they know it. And it wouldn't go well for them, especially right now, especially with the way that we see sort of this, like, almost kind of a right-wing cancel culture happening. It would not go well. She would be digging up so much dirt, and most of it is dirt that they've put out there themselves.
Innocents that died with Charlie.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's why I go back to this, looking back at these texts.
So they got to They got
my
to play
God,
the game a
oh,
little.
Charlie, Don Jr. just followed me.
A little
Eric
soft.
Trump just followed me on Instagram.
Right,
Oh my gosh,
right,
this is
yeah, yeah.
amazing. Like, in the future, we might be invited to speak on CPAC stage. Like, we sound like kids. And
Right,
because
right.
we were, in a way, we were political kids.
They might, I wouldn't go as far as to say that they're not good dudes, right? Nobody's perfect. Everybody has, everybody sins, right? We're all sinners. That does not mean that people can't change. That doesn't mean that people can't grow and become better, more godlike people. But I wouldn't go as far as to say that they're not good dudes.
And we didn't understand how deep and how evil and
Just my opinion. Just my
I guess
opinion.
how dangerous politics could become.
Yeah.
And so I had to mourn that too. Like, this was recognition that this actually happened, and the people who should be protecting Charlie and who he gave his life to are silent. So yeah, you stumbled upon, you already knew I liked to investigate evil, and then you committed an act of evil that was personal to me. So surprise, I'm here.
How does it feel, Candace, being you was at one point number one and you fluctuating between 1 and 10, top 10 globally in podcasts? How does
Could
it
be.
feel to, after what happened at Daily Wire when they gave you a show and said it was uncancelable, and then you started to make criticisms that they didn't like, and then they canceled you essentially? I mean, how does that feel?
Yeah.
They didn't, come on, they didn't cancel Candace. They fired Candace. That's not the same thing. Right? They didn't get YouTube to ban Candace. They didn't get Candace kicked off of social media platforms. They went, never mind. Never mind. You can go somewhere else and do whatever you want to do. It just won't be with the Daily Wire anymore.
Because that had
Genuinely,
to have been scary.
feels amazing.
Yeah.
It gets into this. I mean, it's almost biblical, right? It's like Satan will always tempt you with money, and it is instantly gratifying to say, "I can give you millions of dollars,
they
but
might
you
have.
have to be immoral, or you have to shut up on immorality." And the majority of people are willing to make that deal because it's in your face and the money is being offered to you and it's guaranteed, versus the unknown. The unknown is scary. Like, not knowing something is scary. And like I said, it goes back to biblical, the idea of the forbidden fruit of knowledge, right? You know this, and so you're tempted by it, and you're gonna bite into it. Versus, like, I'm gonna be ignorant here, but trust God. And I felt that came to me on the topic of Gaza, and it wasn't just like they fired me; they tried to ruin my life. I mean, they were behind pressuring Turning Point not to have me speak. So
Modesty, is that directed at me? Because I can't hear my own voice. I don't listen while I'm doing this. I don't have it playing in my headset. That would be annoying, because I actually don't like the sound of my own voice. And I think most people are like that. I think most people don't really like how they sound when they hear themselves. And if it's not directed at me, just know that what I just said is true.
Charlie and I were discussing that, what was going on behind the scenes. That was very much them. The Zionist lobby getting canceled from touring. They didn't even want me to be able to make an income outside of podcasting. They got my YouTube demonetized. They organized a campaign to mass report my YouTube right when I was starting it, and we dealt with every blow. It's just like one day at a time. And so when we were, which was pretty instantly at the end of Q4.
I hate your voice too, Ben.
2024, like instantly in the top 3 podcasts in the US.
Just kidding.
And then top
Just
10
kidding.
globally by, I think, July of last year. It felt amazing. And I said, we should really just take time to reflect and that we survived this, and we survived it by doing the right thing. And I want people to know that there's insecurity and not knowing what's on the other side of things. I've been there. I have felt it. It is scary. It kind of feels like a rug is being pulled from under your feet. But you can choose to do deals with Satan, or you can trust God. And I would strongly recommend the latter.
Yeah. You think that's why Ben Shapiro was like infatuated with you?
Bro, he has every Standish cup. I know he does. He's like, no one, he watches my show like this.
Yeah, it seems like they're making a show dedicated.
I'm gonna say something maybe kind of positive about Candace. The way that she just reacted to that is, in my opinion, a very good way to react to attacks. The way she's been reacting to attacks makes her look, it makes it look like it's affecting her, to where she should be reacting the way she just reacted. She should be laughing it off and mocking it, instead of like going on the defense and then trying to come back out with her own attacks. So like, just like every gray cloud has a silver lining, that was actually a very good way to handle that. And I'm surprised that she doesn't do that more.
To attack you.
Yeah, that's nuts.
It's crazy. It's insane. It's like gang stalking.
Right.
But you know, I go back to what I said on my show the other day is like, you have to understand, like when you do deals with Satan, like he's not the creator. He is constantly trying to rebel against the creator. So he can't create. And so when these people get rid of people that are good and godly, Charlie got rid of me because I said, yeah, I know you can't just mass murder kids. Genocide is always wrong, I think was notoriously what I said. That started the whole thing, got the whole snowball rolling down the hill. But yeah, so what are they stuck with? Bringing back my old channels, like still.
Thanks for the super chat, DeBlanco. Thank you, Bronson Rage. My family over at Jay Witt told me about you, and I'm so glad. Truth matters, and Candy is a cruel, narcissistic grifter for money. Yep, I think you nailed it. Shout out Jay Witt. Jay Witt!
Trying to like, please, I can't create anything of value. Let me try to make fun of her. And they don't even do that well. Like their memes aren't funny.
Yeah.
Because you just don't have the creative flow. That's what happens.
Right.
So
Yeah. Like Matt Walsh, Michael Knowles. I'm not sure how close you got to them while you were at the Daily Wire.
Crashman coming in with the super chat. Hodgetwins, how does it feel to be so awesome and amazing? Candace Owens, I feel like a Bronson on his first live stream. Candace could never feel as awesome as I feel right now. No chance.
Why do you think they're still with the Daily Wire and they're not on their own?
I've asked myself that question. What I can say is yes. I had great
No
relationships.
chance.
Still do.
First live stream ever,
Matt,
and I
Michael, Brett
poured
Cooper,
drink all over myself in the first 5
gratefully,
minutes.
and you never know what someone else's burden is. I mean, I know what I went through, and like I said, it wasn't easy. If I'm putting myself in Matt Walsh's shoes, like I said, it's a known. He's able to work from home. He has 6 kids. I think men carry different burdens than women do. And so I try not to read into it too much. But I do know that they are good people. And I've had a good experience with them. They never did.
I've been trying to train myself to not use certain words very much, so that if I go on somebody else's live, I don't risk their channel. So this is like, I mean, this is fun. And this is also kind of a test for me to see if I can do it. So yes, I would definitely be fine going on other people's live streams, especially Jaywit.
Did anything wrong to me, ever. They never waded into the territory of doing anything wrong to me when I was going through all of that stuff. So I have enough enemies. I don't need to make any more, and I'm always praying for them. They're also we're brothers and sisters in Christ as well. So you just have I pray for them all the time.
Right. It seemed like very good Christians, but Ben, he seems very vindictive. Like you don't want to cross that man's path.
Hey, I want to switch up a little bit. What do you think about that Alex Preddy shooting when they shot him 9 times in the back? An unarmed man.
It's funny. I was just doing this interview.
Thank you for the super
Speaking
chat. This
about
was
that
definitely
over on a
pre-recorded.
Russian
I don't
show.
think that they
And
put
I
this out
would like
because
more
they
time
did
to
like
process that because first
like
and
a
foremost,
trailer for it or a sneak
if you
peek.
had asked me this
So it was
question
definitely
back in
pre-recorded.
2016, when I actually thought that our government, Trump's going to take over, this is going to be about law and order, and it's going to be so great because we're going to have troops go after all these criminals, I probably would have been like, yeah, you can't do this to, but I don't know who's controlling our military. I'm still stuck at who killed Charlie Kirk, and there's a lot of military implications.
Right.
So you can't expect me to root on a government body.
there's a lot, guys, there's a lot of military implications. No, Candace, you've implicated the military in what happened to Charlie Kirk. There isn't military implications. That's not what? Guys, I said a thing, so that means there's a lot of that thing because I said it, because I said it makes it true. Oh man, I hate listening to this woman. At some point, she's got to get better at this, right?
Like when he's like, "Oh, I'm going,
Right?
I'm going to in DC."
Yeah,
he
she
deployed,
hates the
I'm
military
saying NATO in
for
my brain,
whatever reason. It's
the
weird.
National Guard
Mhm.
in DC, and I was going, I don't like this because Israel's controlling Trump,
Mhm.
so that means they're at the helm of our military, and so that's kind of the exercise that I'm constantly going through in my head when these things happen. Like, of course, I have always had respect for law enforcement, and of course, you can see how
Mhm.
enraged this woman is, and like these people are. I'm talking about the one that drove
Renee
first
Good,
in
yeah.
Minnesota, and
Mhm.
that became a scandal.
Mhm.
And then you had this guy Alex Pretty, and it seemed like he was definitely engaging. But I just need more time to process what's actually happening in this country because I'm now considering
I hear ya.
greater costs than what's in front of our face.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I don't know where I'm at and all that. I haven't spent much time
Mhm.
Okay.
looking at what's happening in Minnesota because I think a lot of it is being blown up in the media because they don't want us focused on
Mhm.
Charlie Kirk's assassination.
Right.
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
Jimmy Dore had an episode the other day, and
Marchon. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. With the $20 super chat, glad I found your channel. I'm disappointed in the aw shucks Hodgetwins, but not surprised. She never talks about Hamas as dot. Not really sure where you were going to go with that, but thank you for the super chat.
I'm not sure how I can process this. I don't know how true this is, but it seems like it's true. He said there's a bunch of IDF soldiers working as ICE.
Yeah, former IDF soldiers.
Yeah, former.
Mhm.
That's true.
And they're being
That's
trained
true.
in
And
Israel.
so I
That
think
is
the
true.
goal is to make us root for ICE, and what we're going to get is the IDF.
Okay, hold on a second. Didn't she just say that she has been so focused on the Charlie Kirk ordeal that she hasn't really been paying attention much at all to what's going on in Minnesota? Yet somehow she knows with 100% certainty that there are former IDF soldiers who are now ICE. How does she know that? I've heard. Is that true? I've heard the accusations made that ICE training is from Israel, that they're trained by IDF. I've heard that. Not saying that that's true either, but I've heard that accusation. I have not seen anything that says that there are former IDF soldiers who are now ICE or agents of the Department of Homeland Security. Oh man, I'd really like to know if that's the case. But it surprises me that she would know that with 100% certainty after she just said she hasn't really been paying attention to any of that stuff at all.
And I'm not going to do that. So
Oh, I see.
that is true. It is 100% true that we have IDF, and there are some current IDF soldiers, like Israeli citizens, that are working for ICE. And why? Because we're talking about the border. We're talking about who the number one traffickers in the world are in Tel Aviv. Okay, and I sense that that's
Okay, we got the rest of that. Another $5 from Marchon. Again, sorry for the pronunciation. Hamas as the C word, hiding behind their own women and children during wartime. Yeah, I mean, it's war. War is not good. And people do really bad things in times of war. And yes, no, they don't talk about that. They sure don't talk about Hamas basically hiding behind civilians. But yeah,
what's happening down at the
all
border.
bad. Can we
and
just
that
all
they are
agree that
trying to
war is
create
bad?
An issue that makes
War
us
is just
root
not good.
on
It's not a good thing.
ICE because they're planning on taking over ICE. So trying to figure out how to thread that needle while making it clear that I do support law enforcement.
Right.
And there are tons of brave men and women
Right.
sign up for our military, but I do not support the corruption of our military, which has been going on for decades.
Right. Right.
I want to show you this clip of Trump. He was asked about the Epstein files.
Here's the clip, Ken.
Betsy B, I don't know that I don't think the claim is that they're current IDF soldiers, that they're former IDF soldiers. So there technically wouldn't be any IDF under the ICE payroll.
Conspired against me. So that takes care of Epstein as far as Trump is concerned. But you got a lot of Democrats out there that are very much involved with Epstein. But I'll be honest with you, you got to get back to running the country, too.
On the Epstein files, you talked about Democrats who were in there. Elon Musk was also in there, and so was your Commerce Secretary, Howard Lutnick, and correspondence that he had with him. Did you read those new files that were published Department of Justice?
I have a lot of things I'm doing, a lot of things I'm doing. I don't know. You mentioned 2 names. I'm sure they're fine. Otherwise, it would have been major headlines.
Oh.
I think it's really time for the country to get onto something else, really. Now that nothing came out about me, other than it was a conspiracy against me, literally, by Epstein and other people. But I think it's time now for the country to maybe get onto something else.
What would you say to the survivors who
You are the worst reporter. No wonder CNN has no ratings because of people like you. She's a young woman. I don't think I've ever seen you smile. I've known you for 10 years. I don't think I've ever seen a smile on your face.
The way Trump talks to the press will never not be funny. It just won't. It would just never not be funny. Got a $10 super chat from Mrs. Mel D. Just want to thank you for being on the right side of this, Bronson. Shout out to Paramount Tactical, where I was first introduced to your channel. Appreciate the super chat. And I just like truth. I think truth is important. So I'm just trying to be on the side of truth. And shout out to Gary at Paramount Tactical.
about survivors?
You know why you're not smiling? Because you're not telling the truth. And you're a very dishonest organization, and they should be ashamed of you.
True.
The first time I saw that, it was out of context, and he was just berating her. I was like, wow, he really roasted her. She must have said something stupid. Then I went back, Candace, and I looked at the full video, and I looked at the context. I'm like, why did he snap like that?
Well, he doesn't want to discuss the Epstein files even before the dump, right? So we knew that, obviously, and I think maybe Project Veritas had done some work and said that his had revealed a video that someone said his donors were in the files, and we obviously have not received the full files. It's very obvious that what's missing are the.
Well, let's be clear, guys. It's not just Trump's donors that are in those files. It's not just Trump's donors. It's all of the political donors. That's, I mean, okay. I probably shouldn't just make outright claims like that, but it is alleged by certain people who have done some pretty good research into Epstein that it's 100%. Not my claim. I'm not saying it. YouTube, not me saying it, but they're saying it's 100%. The donor class that is mostly involved with Jeffrey Epstein. So it's not just Trump's donors.
Current active Mossad type agents in the United States that we know were intimately involved with Epstein. So he's wanted to turn the chapter on that full stop. Is she being intentionally provocative? Yes, of course, it's CNN. Is she trying to make it seem like Trump was implicated?
Thanks for hanging out. We'll catch you next time.
The Epstein
we will
files
catch you
sure,
next time.
But to her broader point, saying that the victims of abuse, that is a valid question. So when you say let's turn the page on the Epstein files, you are making a remark that impacts the people who were swept up in what was a child sex trafficking operation, which is still being covered by the elites who it served, which, by the way, it goes right back to Israel.
Well, I just don't know if Trump means hoax the way we think of the word and how it generally means. Because he did this back with the pandemic, right? He called COVID the left-wing hoax. It was a Democrat hoax. And what did they do? Well, they used it to change what happened during the election. Let's just say that. So I think what he's referring or what he means by hoax is that they're going to use this now to try to change what happens during the next election cycle. I think that's what he means by hoax, because they're just as implicated in all of this too. They had 4 years. They didn't do anything with the Epstein files. Didn't even bring it back up until Trump got reelected.
And that's why he doesn't want to discuss it. And I want to be clear, this is what I mean when I say he's out of touch with his voters. We care about this. Okay. Moms care about whether or not child rapists are running the world. Dads care about whether or not child rapists are running the world. That's not a leftist talking point. If we can't protect children, we're not even a nation, right?
Right.
We have totally violated the social contract with our government has totally violated the social contract if we can't even protect children.
Right.
So this is why people feel like we're on the brink of a civil war, because they're kind of saying, yeah, we don't care. Yeah, sure. We had an island. Sure. It was built after an Egyptian temple. Children were being sacrificed. It had a sublayer, but we're now over that because we got him out of a prison and he's happily living.
She's not going to bring that
in
up.
Tel Aviv. Like that's not going to work.
happen.
That can't be the messaging going forward.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just don't like when he keeps calling it a hoax. It's
Right.
like, why would you use that verbiage? Why would you use that language to describe the Epstein files?
It's like a smack in the face to all the victims of him.
Yeah.
It's because they do think that we're a cult. And I think Trump started to believe that everything he said, his followers would get behind because we fought so hard for him when he was actually wronged. But the important piece that he's missing is he had actually been wronged. In this circumstance, the victims of Epstein's network were the people that were actually harmed.
Right. What do you think about a lot of Christians are not familiar with the Talmud or the faith of Judaism? Like this term is called goyim. It's a reference that's been going viral, and if you look on Google, people are actually starting to become familiar about this term, and it's an eye-opening experience for a lot of people. Like they're not familiar with the culture of Israelis spitting on.
Were that many people really unaware of the term goy or goyim? Were they really not that aware of it? They're clearly not Ari Shaffir fans. But because Epstein used that term in a derogatory way, all of a sudden that becomes a derogatory term. And I don't think that that's the case. And even if it is, let's just say that it is. And when the people of that, whatever you want to call it, use that word for people who are not of that, who cares? Every race has a derogatory term for somebody of another race. It's just the way it is. Why is this a big deal? Why are they making such a huge deal out of goy? I don't even know if you can say that on YouTube. Is that allowed? But I don't understand it. March on. I really want to know how to pronounce March on. I bet it's just March on, isn't it? It's got to be. I'm retarded. I really appreciate your objectivity and humor. Keep up the good work. You remind me not let all this sheesh make me sick. God bless you and yours. Yes, I can read just fine, by the way. It's just where I'm reading it, they're pretty small words.
Christians in Israel.
It's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
And what does that term Christianity mean to you? Or is it just bullshit?
It's to me, it's one of the infinite genders that's been created by the left. You know, it's like, we'll just hyphenate. And, he's a he, she, z, b, 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 they be.
Right.
You're a Christian. You can be a Christian. You can be a Jew. You can be a Muslim. Once you get into hyphenating, what we're trying to do is it's just a psychological operation. But I also want to be clear. I do not view Israel has nothing to do with Judaism. That's just its latest mask. And I talk about this on my show. Even that plays into Israel's hand. by allowing them to conflate Israel with Judaism. Okay. This is just a radical group of warmongers. Zionism is a political philosophy. Actually, that religion is satanic when you get into it. It's mysticism that informed the creation of the modern state of Israel. And I cover this extensively on my book club. And it's Sabbatianism, it's Frankism. That is their actual faith. They're masquerading as Jews. At times, they masquerade as Christians. That's why you have these Judeo-Christian types like pastors, Rob McCoy, and those ilk. What unites them is Israel, and their political philosophy is Zionism. So, that's my perspective.
Officer Tatum.
Ooh.
He called himself a what do you call himself?
A black
Ooh, they're
Zionist.
bringing up Tatum.
Well, look. So first,
go ahead.
what are your thoughts? Go ahead.
Oh, whoa. That was interesting. So it sounded like they were going to maybe make a little bit of an insult there. And Candace kind of cut him off. Did you guys notice that? That was interesting. Kind of shut him up, too.
I'll let you go.
I love him. He's got a beautiful family. I don't wish no ill will to him.
We've
but
had him on our podcast.
Yeah. And I
Oh,
still, I
wow.
haven't
And they
lost
went
no respect
straight
him.
to
I wanna bring him back on
backtracking
the
and
show. It's like,
defending
but
him.
When I hear people say they're black Zionists, I'm like, where do you think he's getting his information from?
I'm not sure. I think I would love to have that conversation with him. I would definitely love to take him through the history of Zionism because I think he's probably getting it, to be honest, from church. If we think about where most people's perspectives, and I include my former perspectives on Zionism, right? I was with Charlie. We were like, yeah, sure, we're Christian Zionists.
Right.
And a lot of history is intentionally rinsed from the textbooks at school. And so our understanding of history almost comes from like movies when I revisit my prior ideas.
Right.
You know, the worst thing that ever happened was World War II and the Holocaust. It's like what we know is what's put in front of us. And so I would obviously love an opportunity to put something else in front of him. Brennan, to me, he's like a brother. So I have the same.
Were the Hodge twins not aware of Candace and Tatum's relationship? Like how close they view each other as? Were they not aware of that? That was a little wild. I feel like they were about to go somewhere else with that, and then she cut it off. Yet I'll be honest, guys, like that, in my opinion, that's a good quality. Candace and Tatum, like they have loyalty to each other. I'm never gonna knock loyalty from anybody. That's a rare quality to have. So it's just an interesting dynamic to see other people like they won't go as far as to straight criticize Tatum with Candace, and Candace shuts it. I've never seen her shut that down like that. That was wild.
Relationship
That
with
was
Brandon
wild.
that I have with Charlie.
Right.
Charlie will annoy me if I have something
Same
to
with
say.
Tatum.
Charlie,
like Tatum, he won't publicly. I don't even know if he privately talks to Candace very much. I'd be curious, but I know that he won't publicly say anything bad towards Candace.
always went directly to Charlie, constantly bickering behind the scenes. You know what I mean? So I see Brandon as like a cousin. And so
Right.
I can't wait to see Brandon. I'm going to give Brandon a noogies. That's actually what I'm going to do when I see Brandon.
Right.
So we have a long
that's not
conversation
true.
that we need to have, and we
The
haven't had an
left
opportunity in
stab
a
each
while.
other in
But,
the back all the
you know,
time.
I have a lot of love for Brandon, and obviously I think you don't have to stretch your
They eat their
imagination to
own.
see that we very much disagree on this topic, but
Right.
it's allowed. We're allowed to disagree, and I hope that I can bring him to my side.
Yeah, he did an interview after he left Israel. They said they only spit on him once. I was like, why would you? Did you see that?
And when you go on these Israeli tours, because I did it with Charlie. They
You
take
guys, I never saw that. Is that like a serious thing, or was he just making a joke? Let me know in the chat. Was that just a joke, or like was he serious? Like, no, we only got spit on once. Dead serious. Because that sounds like a joke. That sounds like you would just kind of laughingly say that to make fun of people who push the narrative that Christians get spit on by Jews in Israel.
towards certain things. I mean, it is intentional propaganda. It is so intentional. And when I was there, I did not like Israel. Charlie was like, "This is amazing." Charlie was, "Oh, this is wonderful. It's safe." I'm like, "Charlie, I feel like we're being taken on a tour of exactly what they want us to see."
Right,
And
right.
I sense tension. I sense unhappiness. I was not a fan of Israel. It was my least favorite place I had visited, even when I was a Zionist. So yeah, I just disagree with everything that Israel is doing. The Likud party, I think they're a band of terrorists because
Right.
they are a band of terrorists. So
You know what,
we'll see.
Candace?
I will do my best when I see Brandon to put some other stuff in front of him and see if it
Right.
makes an impact.
Right. What you experienced, I have had family that went over there, and he's
Jay Witt stopping by with the $10 super chat. Great stream, bro. Boggy, bro boogie, bro boggy. I don't know what that is. Got to catch you on replay. Grace and peace. Shout out Jay Witt. Can we get some green hearts down in the chat for Jay? Can we get some green hearts down in the chat, guys?
said, man,
Appreciate you,
he
Jay
said he
Witt.
felt and he's not popular like you, so I'm sure they was giving you the red carpet, but he was just there, right? And he said, man, those people treated him like he was an animal. And he said when he came into contact after Israel, he went to a Muslim country. He said those people was the nicest people in the world. I was like, what? How? I said that doesn't make sense because I wasn't fully aware of what was going on with Israel and the whole history behind it and how complicated those people are when it comes to religion and Christianity. It's like it blew me away. And then now when I started to do my research, I find why they actually treat him like that because he's wearing a cross. He's Christian and people and a lot of people don't understand that.
Is this common, guys? I don't know anybody that's ever been to Israel personally. Is it common? Like they go over there and they come back and they tell you that they felt like they were treated like animals because they wore a cross necklace? Is that legit, or is this just some weird anecdote? Because it always seems to be people that I know that have been there have told me this, and then they say some horrible experience that the person they know has. But I don't like. Are there just a bunch of people going on YouTube and talking about their trips to Israel as Christians and how terrible it was? Is that a thing? Amethyst Angel comes in with a $10 super chat. Goyim is Yiddish. It's to Hebrew what Spanglish is to Puerto Ricans. Every culture has its own B-word language and vernacular. Candaspiracy is a yenti. Google it. Guys, Google that. I'm not going to Google that. Google it.
People of the that follow the faith of Judaism, they see other races of people, including white people, like inferior to them.
Cattle. They see us as cattle for
Right.
them.
Right.
Yeah, having the souls of cattle, and I think that this conversation, which was such,
I don't
was
think
so
they all
censored and
mean
banned, is now
cattle by it,
mainstream
right?
thanks to Jeffrey Epstein's emails, where he said that, and like I said, he said this. He was working for the Rothschild
even if
family.
they
The
do.
Rothschilds created the nation state
no.
of Israel.
Oh, no.
And there is no question
The Jew
that
called me a bad
modern
word.
Israelis, not to be confused with biblical Israelites,
Right.
are
Scary.
avowedly racist. Like avowedly racist. It is indoctrinated to them into them in their youth. People that have left Israel have told me that. Like we learned this at school. Because they then go have to serve for the IDF, and they are basically putting them through.
J-Way coming back. Should have typed bro boogie. What about bro ham? Great stream. You know what, Jay? You call me whatever you want, dude. You call me anything you want. As long as it involves a green heart.
Psychological brainwashing course, so that they're okay mass murdering and stealing from people and believing that it is their biblical heritage that allows them to do this. They don't even know that they're just being raised up in a satanic cult. And so I think the dam on that conversation is finally breaking, and I'm very happy about that. And you are correct about the what
I
what
do,
is in
but
the
I do
Talmud.
not want
So when you
those
have
docs.
a person
I want
who
none of
places
the Epstein
Talmud
stuff.
above the Torah. What they are telling you is that they follow rabbinical Judaism, meaning that they have elected the rabbis to say what is right and what is wrong. They essentially saying we follow man, which means ultimately that you follow yourself. By the way, to be clear, that is what that book is. It's rabbis debating really despicable things at times. So that theological debate is happening. And to be clear, Jewish people who have nothing to do with the state of Israel, of which there are many people that we grew up with, need to be a part of that conversation. This is why people like Dave Smith are so potent, because they want you to think that every black person agrees with BLM and every Jewish person agrees with Bibi Netanyahu. We need to start separating the wheat from the chaff, and all of us should be agreeing that Israel it's just a satanic entity at this point. They're just mass murdering children and sacrificing kids to Baal. I mean, that's the extent of what they have done.
Yeah.
Kind of since the nation state was established in 1948, if we're being
right. Yeah. A lot of Christian Zionists, they call themselves that. They
Who
say
is?
it's just
What did I miss?
war. I was like, that's funny you should put it that way. It's like when it happened to the Jews during World War II, you call it a Holocaust, but when it happens to anybody else except for the Jews, it's just war.
Even Christians, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Everyone wants to tell you the numbers of how many Christians died during World War II, and were put into the first concentration camps, which were first developed by Jews, or those who say they're Jews, Synagogue of Satan. You look into who created those first concentration camps, and yeah, that's where you end up. And we can talk about the Bolshevik Revolution, and like I said, they worship Satan, and they're explicit in that once you get into studying those things. I'm about to do my book club today, and it's haunting that Sigmund Freud was so explicit about it, and yet people have just ignored that. They weren't hiding it. They're not hiding.
So is she just saying all Jews are Synagogue of Satan? Is that what she just did? She just painted every Jew on the planet as Synagogue of Satan. That's where we're at now. I thought it was like only a specific group of those individuals. Now it's just all of them. Just Jew, Satan. Is that where we're at now?
Who they believe their Lord is. And so I think that, like I said, we now have this rare opportunity to have that discussion, and to be precise and who exactly it is that we're speaking about.
It's a good question.
Because I do believe that there has been almost a satanic spell cast on America, that I think are all kind of descending out of at different intervals.
Yeah, like the Democrats have figured out Israel and how it's an evil empire, but it hasn't. Well, it's getting that way on the right. Do you think that whole route is going to continue to open eyes up on the right?
Yeah. Oh, without question. That's why I said I don't believe that in the future you can run as a Zionist and win. I don't even think Trump running on his 2016 platform, because he was openly
the Bible
Zionist,
tell
but
us
we didn't care
this
about
is an
that
evil
because he was
place?
so America
This
first.
is not God's
that
kingdom.
we were like, even if he's pro-Israel,
This
that's going to
world
be like
is not
Israel
of God,
first. It's
but
going to be
we are of
America,
God.
America, and then maybe Israel.
Right.
Actually,
Is
wouldn't
this
even
new
put
to
it as
people
number 3 with the way that he was
evil
speaking.
exists
And
here?
I felt like there was some semblance of that throughout his first administration, but there's nothing in this one. Like, he's very clear. It's like what Bibi wants, Bibi gets. You know, that's why we call him over here the boss, Bibi.
United States of Israel.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Sadly.
Do you keep in touch with Ye?
With who?
Ye. Do you still stay in touch with him?
Yeah.
Ooh,
I
are they
was
going to
gonna
bring
go
up the
see him
Ye thing?
for Thanksgiving, but
Oh, really?
I host Thanksgiving every year. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was like, I really need you to record your masters, because I have such a sense of guilt listening to his music and knowing that the wrong people are getting paid off of it, like the satanic people
Right.
who literally tried to ruin his life. And so I'm hoping that he'll do that soon. He said he was trying to make time to do that. Ye is also a brother to me. And
Right.
so in the context, get all people, what do you think about Ye doing this, doing that? It's like, dude, Ye's the reason why Ye and I.
What do you think? Well, she cut them off on that one too. First, she took complete control of wherever they were going to go with that Tatum issue that they brought up. And now she's going to do the same thing with the Ye. She's just going to take that and she's going to lead it where she wants it to go. I see. Because you know what they were going to ask her. Are you still close with Ye? What do you think about Ye coming out and apologizing to those certain people? What do you think of that? And she just took it and yeah. That's what people are talking about, Candace, is what do you think about Ye apologizing to the people you're bashing on a weekly basis?
Or like kindred spirits, is because I'm going to be Candace and he's going to be Ye. And I think what we both respect at the end of the day is freedom, like
Right.
freedom to be who you are. when you are that person and not demanding it upon other people. And so,
Yeah.
I'm due for I want to do a sit down with him to
Yeah,
get him
that
to
would be
record
interesting.
his masters.
Yeah.
Right.
What do you think of his song Heil Hitler?
It's just a fantastic beat. I mean, no one can deny. Who's denying the beat? And excuse me with the lyrics. Like I always appreciate the audacity of Zionists. They're like, we killed hundreds of thousands of kids and you can't say anything. What are the lyrics here? Oh my gosh, it's worse than kill. It's just ridiculous. This like precepts of like speech is the worst thing that could possibly happen. The reaction that we got to when I wake up, I'm gonna go DEFCON 3 on some Jewish people.
When it comes to music, I've heard way worse than Ye's HH song. I feel like that got more hate than it really needed. Right? I mean, we all know why Ye did that. It's not a mystery why he put that out. Got Ye lots of attention. Ye is really good at getting attention, and I don't know that Ye cares what kind of attention he gets, for the most part.
Versus like, why do you think what Bibi's doing is wrong when he literally has gone DEFCON 3 on innocent Palestinians who had nothing to do with October 7th?
Exactly.
It's all a part of their psychological games, like trying to convince you that the song is worse than what Bibi's doing. Their reaction is always that way. Like they can't even believe it. They're completely dropping to the floor and fainting. It's like, you don't like it, don't listen to it, don't buy it. That's fine. Okay.
All right. Hey, you've been having some beef with Alex Jones and Nick Fuentes.
Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah, a little bit.
Alex Jones was just like tripping.
Yeah.
I personally enjoyed Alex Jones. He's very entertaining. And so seeing him sort of like,
It's,
you know, they were throwing,
just gone.
Turning Point was throwing around a lot of money. Okay. I get it, whatever. But that was wild. His like week of, I'm going to destroy her. It was still entertaining. I will say, he's Alex Jones. I was entertained by the clips mildly. I didn't even attack him back. I genuinely was laughing because it was so over the top. It was like it was done in exactly the manner you would expect of Alex Jones.
Well, hang on a second here, Tatiana. I found it, but I can't pull it up. Tatiana sent in $5. They are lying. My mom was just in Israel and she's a Christian. The Jews were wonderful to her. Yeah, you know, that doesn't surprise me. I kind of figured that'd be the case.
Right.
And then he just kind of stopped. It was like,
the check cleared, huh?
I hate that I still like him. I don't know. There's certain people that have that effect on me, and Alex Jones is one of them where I'm like, okay, I don't know what he's spazzing out about, but I still find him to be entertaining. So
Right.
So she's accusing
made up
Alex
with
Jones of taking TPUSA money.
Nick, there was nothing to make up about.
Yeah, okay.
I'm a very simple person. You know, I was very respectful to Nick. Had him in this house.
I completely understand. If this is tainting your Friday,
episode, we were so
feel
friendly.
free to leave.
I mean, you welcome someone into
I
your
get
home,
it.
they meet your
Do
team,
not
everyone's
feel
super
bad.
nice to you.
Have a
And
good
then
weekend.
for some reason, he gets on air and completely flips, pretends that he's shocked by the title, like we didn't have a discussion about it. That even when we did the trailer for it, I told him I'm going to cut out a trailer. Like we basically plotted this all together, and then he went into full theater and drama mode. And so I just know what he is. You know, people tell you who they are very early on. Listen, it's my granddad. Constantly instilled in me, and so it's like I just see him for what he is. Like it's drama, it's theater, it's akin to Jeremy Boring at the Daily Wire. And if you don't have, I don't know, I just feel like as a man, when you look someone in the eye, you give them a handshake and you get to know them and their family, that kind of like Judas culture, we just don't.
Right.
So I don't want him to be censored. Let him live his life, whatever.
Right.
It's not for me.
Yeah. I guess I was just kind of blown away how he just talks about you. When
Nonstop, yeah.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know.
And then I was watching your show.
Maybe he is racist.
Yeah. But how do you feel about this term that's going around, black fatigue?
The emergence.
Yeah.
What's that?
Oh, you haven't heard of black fatigue?
Black fatigue?
Yeah.
Do I not sound
definitely
hip?
a
Sorry.
joke.
Sometimes people have to dial me in. You forget I'm getting old, man. I got 4 kids. Come on, make
Really?
me hip. What is it?
Really, she's so unaware of current culture. She's never heard the term black fatigue before and what it's in reference to. Give me a break. If she's that unplugged, I don't believe anything that comes out of her mouth. There's no way that she's that removed from current culture. With as much as she's on X and she's playing stupid with what black fatigue is, or am I not catching the sarcasm from her?
Well, it's like
Because that could be possible.
Obnoxious black people in public, people are filming it and they're putting the
Maybe
title
not.
on it.
They're explaining it to
labeling
her,
as
so.
black fatigue. You know how
Right.
black people call white women Karens for calling the cops on a girl for,
Yeah.
Just selling
yeah.
water.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, it's
Yeah,
very
I think
similar
so
to that.
too.
It's black people's Karen.
Yeah. Version of a
Version, yeah.
Karen.
I haven't heard this term, but I always say that I had that when during BLM. I had black fatigue. I was just, I just
Yeah.
couldn't do it. I
Yeah.
was like, I can't with black people.
Okay, so she hasn't heard it, but she used the term during BLM. What is she saying? Katrina coming in with a $2 super chat. Tatum brag about his arm tattoo he got in Israel. True. Yeah, I don't think he had a bad experience in Israel.
Because we were always like the funny people. Then it was like, oh, we're so offended by like someone put
Right.
her hair in braids. I'm like, what are we doing?
Have a good weekend.
And it got really annoying, and then it stopped, and now it's kind of transferred, and everyone's feeling the Jew fatigue right now.
Right.
And it's like,
Right.
oh my gosh, this person in the subway was Jewish and he got pushed. It's like, welcome to New York City. Like this
Right.
is not happening to you because you're a Jew. Like
Right.
so that I just call it annoying people fatigue in general. And sometimes
right,
when they make it racial, you do get.
Oh man, Candace finally she's dead on. There is definitely annoying fatigue going around. You are the annoying one, Candace, that people are fatiguing on. Tired of your shit. Tired of it. It's terrible. Show some evidence already. Get this going. You're just picking people's lives apart and telling them how much of a bad person they are, according to you, and that makes them somehow guilty of unaliving somebody. Yes, people definitely have annoying fatigue. And I would also say they would have Jew fatigue, and it's not the way that they're referring to it as. It's, well, let me guess. Your child had a bad day at school today because of the Jews. Like, it doesn't matter what the issue is. These people always seem to have an excuse that it's somehow because of the Jews.
Get fatigue from it, but yeah,
That would be my definition of having Jew
I'm
fatigue.
not in every corner of the internet, but I definitely know that I experienced these feelings during BLM, and
Right.
I don't feel it anymore though, actually. So
Yeah, like when BLM
Ben
started,
having Candace
you
fatigue.
was very critical of BLM and the things the black community embraces. Do you think since then, how your success, your emergence, do you think black people are warming up to your message because they think that this is a racist country, it's systemically racist, and to see you as a black woman fight the Jews, the Democrats, you're fighting everybody. And
Top 10 podcast.
Got to stick
top
with
10
what's
podcasts,
making her
top
the
1
most
podcast.
money.
Do you think the black community is warming up to you?
for sure, without question, I think a part of it is because the media did a really good job of making them think that I was literally just being paid to
Are they,
attack
though?
them, like that I didn't actually think these things, and I was just going to be focused on constantly.
I have a feeling most of Candace's audience right now is white liberal women. Could be wrong. It could be wrong. That's just the vibe I'm getting. It's just the vibe I have.
Going after Black America like it was a
Right.
black thing. Like she hates being black. That's why she's doing this. And it was like, no,
Right,
I
right.
literally hate BLM. And I hate what the spell that they seem to be casting upon Black Americans and thinking that this is going to deliver them to the promised land if they loot Target and get a flat screen TV because George Floyd died in Minnesota. Doesn't make any sense. I don't like stupid. And so I think what they have now that there has been some longevity and BLM is no longer the
100%.
hot topic and it's shifted and they're seeing me critique Trump and they're seeing me obviously with the exact same energy that I've dedicated to BLM. I have been attacking this Zionist narrative about Israel and they go, oh, okay, it really wasn't because I'm black. It was because I was being annoying. And it's like, yeah, you were being annoying. And I'm glad you're not doing that anymore. And this is how I feel about Israel right now. They're being super annoying and or Zionists in America. Israel, I think, is forever going to be what it is, which is a satanic entity. But Jewish people in America were first really drinking the Kool-Aid post October 7th. That was their George Floyd event. And they were seeing anti-Semitism everywhere and they got super annoying. And I think now with enough time, they too are starting to go, okay, wait a second. what is happening? Why is this event? Like, look what Bibi Netanyahu's doing. This does seem to be a game of politics, as BLM was.
Yeah, I didn't see that one
And so
coming.
I'm
I didn't
calling
see this
balls and
topic
strikes.
coming
I
up.
don't care what your race is or what your religion is. If you get annoying, I don't care if you're Blake Lively. I mean, the Blake Lively situation, I'm attacking Israel, but also defending the Jew of the situation, as the directors were.
Right.
You know,
That is a very good point. It's like just the timing of Candace Owens, right? It was to a point where the Republican Party, they understood that they lacked a certain demographic voter. And they needed to figure out a way to try to pull some people from that demographic into the Republican Party to make them become, or at least vote Republican. Not even necessarily become Republican, just to vote to the right. And they really did. Candace was a useful idiot. They used Candace. And I gotta try to be careful how I say this, because I don't want to, you guys can put that together, right? Candace was a useful idiot. She was young, naive. She took the opportunity, like she had to know why it was that she was getting the opportunity that she was and what she was going to be used for. And I think that also might play a role in how she's treating TPUSA and Daily Wire, and PragerU. These are the people that gave her, regardless of why they gave her the opportunity. They gave her the opportunity. She wasn't the only one trying to get in during this, I don't know, what would you call it? Like a renaissance of the Republican Party, maybe? I don't know if that's the right term to use, but you understand what I'm saying.
annoying gets what it gets for me.
What's your thoughts on J.D. Vance? Do you think he's the future president?
Yeah, a lot of people
that
did.
Question has been, the answer to that question has been complicated by the Epstein files because of how many times Peter Thiel was mentioned in them. And he's going to have to contend with that because there's no getting around it. I mean, Peter Thiel did fund J.D. Vance from the time that he was in college. He made him a thing, right? He funded his career in the Senate. He certainly likely got him that deal with Netflix, which is unheard of. He went to go work for Peter Thiel. So there's no separating in the public mindset Peter Thiel from J.D. Vance. And so how he will contend with that will be interesting. Prior to that dump, I would have said he would have been a contender. I think he has been wise. He has been smart to stay away from Trump on the issues. I can tell you he was definitely one of the people that was pushing for answers in terms of what happened to Charlie Kirk. That's what I was told from behind the scenes, that J.D. Vance was pushing, was maybe one of the only people that was actually pushing for answers behind the scenes, which is compelling. And he has stayed away from that super Zionist philosophy. In fact, the Zionists are regularly attacking J.D. Vance. So that was all good for him. He is going to have to contend with the Epstein files and J.D. Vance and Peter Thiel now, though. So we'll see how that goes.
What do you think if we ever a lot of people saying we're about to go to war with Iran. I'm not sure why we have battleships out there. I'm even not sure what Trump's been saying crazy things that we are trying to make Iran great again, thinking about arming some of their citizens to fight back again. I was like, what is this all coming from? Why does we so infatuated with Iran? That doesn't help Americans.
I just think BB is running his Twitter account. It's just BB tweeting. I don't know.
You think BB's tweeting?
I don't even care about anything. I'm just like, BB's tweeting again.
Yeah.
You know, BB drunk dial in America. You know, like I don't even cover anything that's going on because there's no explanation for it at all. It's like BB demands the ship.
Watch out, guys. I'm going to say something positive about Candace again. She's at her best when she just nonchalantly throws out little digs like this. Like if she did this, I mean, clearly she's getting views, right? But in my opinion, this is when Candace is at her best, when she's just laughing stuff off and taking little digs like this, not going on 30-minute, like in-depth breakdowns and tirades of why, like just make a joke about it and move on. Like that is, in my opinion, that's just way more effective.
They go and then
easier
Trump
to
tweets
follow
something
for people too.
Weird after the fact. I just tell Americans, don't send your sons, don't sign up for the military. This is not the United
Like,
States.
that was
military. It's nothing to do with the
objectively
United States.
funny.
It belongs to Israel. So if you want to die for Israel, sign up for the military today.
Well said. Well said. Before we let you go, I just want to ask you one tough
That's
question.
also funny.
You've been asking a lot of tough questions. No, this is really tough. If you could change anything, is it anything you ever said or done you wish you had never did on camera? There's something that bugs at you. It's like, what was I thinking that day? I mean, I have a million of them. I don't even have time to tell you how many times I wish I can go back in time and say, man, why did I say that? Do you ever have those situations that happen?
If you asked me in the moment, I would be like, "Oh, I wish I had."
I'm sure that was in the email
this.
between the two.
Right.
That said, you
Then
can't
when
bring
you
this
have
up.
more
That would be
time
my
from whenever that
guess.
happened, there's
We're
just
not talking about
always-
George.
You learn from mistakes. So
Right.
why would you want to go through life not making mistakes? And
Right.
like the biggest thing that happened, I guess, in the public was my firing from the Daily Wire. Why would I want to change that? Look how beautiful that story has turned into. Like like standing up for myself, and I feel so good about that. Like spiritually, that God won in that regard. That Christ is King. That narrative, I wouldn't want that to be gone. Would I have if I could go back in the moment? Actually, even when I went down, I knew what I was doing. I was very conscious in saying like, I am okay with this happening, and I'm grateful that it happened. I was never going to sell my soul, but I wouldn't take away like working for the Daily Wire or working for PragerU, because it allowed me to see how these things work from the inside. So when I'm giving people insight on my show, I now can say this not as an outsider, assuming what's happening on the inside, but someone.
This is Cloudy PDX brings up a really good point. Generally, when she goes on somebody else's show, she's definitely more reserved. The only time in recent memory that I can think of where she went on somebody else's show, she acted crazy. That was Pierce Morgan. And that's because even though that interview was a pretty softball interview, he still gave pushback. And look how she handled that. Now compare that to, her being on Hodgetwins or some of the other ones that she's been on in the past 6 months. It's a very, very different thing when she has control of what the narrative is going to be.
Having been on the inside and telling you what's now happening on the outside. So I have the perspective that, God wants you where you are at that exact moment in time. And even when you make mistakes, it's a part of a learning process. And so
I think that's the best time to learn is when you make mistakes. I've learned the most when I fell on my
and the CNN
face.
interview. Right.
I wouldn't get
that didn't go so well for her either.
It's like the best learning experience is when you fail. It makes you a better person. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I'm not scared to fail. So that also helps. There's so much fear of failing, and it's just like, well, then you know what you did wrong, and you do better next time,
Right.
Well, we want to thank you for taking your time today to talk to us.
That was it?
Anything you want to
You're
shout
so
out?
welcome.
They didn't even bring up.
No.
It's not like you need to shout out anything.
Well, I mean,
Everybody knows, Candace.
I'm
I'd
not.
like to shout out my cousin who's been holding it down in New York.
I don't give a shit who your shout outs are. As I was going to say, I'm surprised they didn't bring up Erika and what's been happening, but at the same, I don't know when this was recorded. So this might have been recorded prior to the last few episodes of Candace. But even then, she's attacked Erika a few times prior. Like, no, I take that back. I'm not surprised that they didn't bring up Erika Kirk. I'm sure that was on the list of no. You can generalize, maybe ask a question about TPUSA. But what we're not going to do is we're not going to defend my attacks on Erika Kirk. That's what we're not going to do. Or I guess they kind of did with that whole, that little interview, or not interview, but the Zoom call or whatever it was. So, I mean, they kind of did, but they didn't come out and flat out ask, why are you clearly accusing Erika Kirk of what happened to her husband? So, I don't know, guys. What's your take on this? Did you think it was did you think they were going to ask any hard questions? Did you think this was going to be a tough interview by the Hodgetwins? Because I'm not surprised at all. I was hoping that they had a little integrity and that they would push back a little, but they didn't even really push back on any answers that she gave. They just asked her the question and then just let her give her answer and then on to the next question. That was weak. That was super weak. All right, I'm going to go through and find some chats in here quick, and then we'll probably wrap this up, let you guys get on with your weekend. Yeah, they're definitely, I mean, to be fair, guys, like right now, if you want viewers, if you want to grow your channel, if you want money, the grift is with Candace. 100%. It is not against Candace at all. So what way are they gonna go the integrity route and push for truth, real truth? Or are they just gonna hop on the bandwagon and get in while the grift is good? Yeah, that's fair. Like I said, there no pushback, none, no pushback whatsoever from Hodgetwins, which really it's really not surprising. I don't know if they could afford to push back. I feel like they would end up losing a lot of subs. Another $10 super chat from March On. She left the organization she left, Blexit, in the hole, allegedly. Yeah, I haven't seen anything like that that verifies that necessarily, but yeah, I don't think that was doing very well. Tatum was also involved. Tatum also runs her merch line. I did not know that. Did she ever leave the left? Solid question. Solid question. Tracy Benno, when she spoke about Erika after the memorial, I could hear the animosity she had towards Erika in the tone of her voice. Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with you on that. Samantha, oh yeah, they've always known that fighting her ends bad, no matter what. Especially if you have somewhat of a past like they have and have admitted and like told stories about their past. Yeah, there's no way that would go well for the Hodge twins. Follow your destiny. I'm not surprised at all. Their personalities exposed themselves. They jumped on the can. Did they? Has it been that long? God, it's been that long already. To be fair, just I don't know if you guys have ever heard of a creator by the name of Ryan Dawson. He's been around a really long time. But I've been watching people on the that person hate train for a long time. Just because I think it's always good to get perspective from people on, regardless if you agree with them or not. I think it's always good to listen to arguments. The problem is like I prefer my arguments to be like good and logical. And Candace doesn't do any of that. So it's like if her arguments were seated in logic, she would be way easier for me to listen to. But because it's all just based on feelings and vibes, like I just want to drive ice picks into my ears. Not literally, YouTube. That's a figure of speech, YouTube. You know what? There we go. We're going to leave it sit on a screen. We'll put Trump on. I used to get Terrence Williams content like recommended to me all the time, whether on X or on YouTube. Nothing. I don't even see him anymore. But yeah, I definitely believe Terrence has called out Candace probably quite a few times. I rule. I think you missed my super chat. It was the very first one, but maybe you can read it last. It's definitely possible that I missed your super chat. And if I can't find it, just type it again without super chatting and I will read it. Because the way that I'm doing this is different from the way that like Jay Witt and Paramount do it. So it's like If I miss it, it's gone. So if you want to just type it again, I'll look for it. Amethyst Angel with another $2 super chat. Congrats, Bronson, on your first live. Thank you. Thank you. It's definitely going better than I thought it was going to go. All of the audio and everything seems to be working correctly. I'm a little worried that I just told iRule to type it again and that I missed her typing it again. Or him. Whichever. I was actually hoping to get a little hater action in the comment section. I'm a little disappointed. I was hoping the trolls were going to come out. That would have been fun. That would not have been a bad time at all. Maybe that's what it is. I barely go on Facebook anymore. I agree. Terrence is definitely funny. Yeah, Terrence, he gives zero fucks. Aw, thanks, Ben. Thanks. That's so nice of you. Okay, so just said happy to be here at your first live and people hit the thumbs up. Thanks and congrats. Well, I am super sorry that I missed your super chat. And I hope this is pretty much the same thing as that super chat. So thank you, iRule, for the super chat. And definitely, I suppose, hit the thumbs up if you want. If you don't, it's all good. Not sure if you know what a brony is. Not sure. But if you don't, you should probably look that up. Cloudy PDX, do now lives, they will come. Cantifa always comes. Yeah, I just don't know if they're going to have as fun of a time with somebody like me that they would with Jay Witt or Gary. Because it's not going to go the same here. It just isn't. Because I don't know. Jay Witt and Gary are very, very nice people. They're very good-hearted people. Who, I mean, Gary's getting a little trolly. He's definitely starting to get a little trolly, which is good. It's cool to see. But for the most part, I think they sort of, it's like if a candidate came in here and tried to do some silly stuff, they're not going to get serious treatment from me. In fact, what I would probably do is require them for me to read whatever they're going to say. Like it would be mandatory that they would have to super chat, or I'm just going to skip over what they have to say. I feel like that might be like a good thing to set, right? Like you can talk, you can come in here and hate, but if you want me to read it and respond to it, well, it's going to cost you. Suppose I get in on the grift of that a little bit. Banned where? Blue Arrow. I was banned in 15 seconds flat. Are bronies like the My Little Pony guys? Yeah, it's dudes that are into My Little Ponies. Betsy B. Bronson, we need a darker side. I need a smartass compliment like you. Well, not sure how dark we can get because I don't know how friendly YouTube is to that kind of stuff. CJB, Cantifa, come up to the front of the church. Jay Witt. Yeah. Come on up. We could do that. We could definitely run with black hearts. Fran G. David, I started watching you in Paramount Tactical shows because of Jay Witt. Yeah, Jay Witt, he's just out here sharing all kinds of love, just spreading the love. Oh, I must have missed what was going on there. What is going on? There we go. New member, thank you. Follow your destiny. Appreciate it. Amethyst Angel with a $5 donation. Strive, don't compare, nephew. Don't make this auntie give you a motivating lecture. They're great mentors. Jason wants to help you all newbies grow. Well, I appreciate Jay Witt quite a bit, quite a bit. And it's like if we had like a contest, right, as far as like how good of a human being somebody is, I can assure you Jay Witt has me beat by 1,000 miles. That is a good dude. Have a great weekend, iRule. Thanks for stopping in. I think that's iRule, right? Is that an I or is it an L? L rule? I don't know. I'm terrible at pronouncing and reading. Just bad at all of it. Stay Beth with a $2 super chat. Congrats, your first live. Cantifa should be afraid. Yeah, I think for the most part, I'm starting to finally get some of them back on Twitter to argue with me. For a minute there, they just wouldn't. Because I just don't take anything they say seriously, even though they try. I was banned within 5 minutes on Baron Coleman. I have not been banned. I haven't been to Baron's chat for a while, but I have not been banned. But I usually, when it comes to the other side, right? The other side, when I chat in there, I usually super chat. And I only do it once. And I make sure that it's good. Because if I'm gonna give money to them, I'm going to make them read something out loud to their audience that at least gets them going a little bit. In fact, I think the last time that I sent Baron Coleman a super chat, it had to do with when he was talking about the tea bags out of Charlie Kirk's Starbucks cup, looking like, I believe, explosive microchips or something. Is the crap he was trying to push with that is like, are you kidding me? You can clearly see in multiple photographs from multiple angles. Those are tea bags out of his Starbucks cup. Jay Witt builds up others while Candy tears down and destroys. That's true, but Candy also builds people who are willing to defend her and jump on her bandwagon. I mean, she's done wonders for people like Ian Carroll, for Baron Coleman. I remember the teabag super. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. He just blew it off. He's like, yeah, I don't even care. So what? I don't care. It's like, yeah, no, we get it. You don't care. You're just going to push whatever works for you, whatever gets you engagement. I couldn't believe that was his response to that. Like, hey, those are tea bags, not microchip. I don't care. Who cares? So what? Yeah. Yeah, that's all I really needed to hear from Baron Coleman to figure out where he was at. Oh, where is it? Where did that chat go? Samantha, wasn't he pushing the mic theory? Yeah, I believe he still is, or it's at least like still on the table. The one really pushing that, oh, what's his name? Gary had him on his show. Now I'm drawing a blank. I don't remember his name, but that dude is still running with the explosive mic theory. Yeah. Yep. Explosive tea bags. It's pretty cool. Pretty neat. Mama Owl saying there needs to be real evidence. Stop harassing people, etc. I can't afford a super chat. Like if you super chat, that's awesome. Like I really appreciate it. But if you, I don't care. You don't need to super chat. But just know, like, I'm not going to be like, no, don't, like, if you do, cool. Like, I really appreciate it. But don't feel obligated to have to super chat at all. I'm still, like, I'm chronically online. So I'm still going to read as many comments as I can. But that was, not going to lie, guys. I was trying to, like, listen and take in everything they were saying. But, like, I also just wanted to read the chats because I want to be involved with what's going on in the chat. I'm afraid to not be part of the conversation, guys. Uh-oh. AM's in here. Uh-oh. Have you been here the whole time or did you just get here? No. Cloudy PDX did not just type this. Jewish teabags. I can't turn my brain off and be stupid to get views and say the stuff these people do. Yeah, I know. I get it. I have the same problem. It's too bad too, because we could be making a lot of money just we didn't have a conscience or a soul. Barron is a sleazy defense lawyer, always poking holes in the prosecution's case, but before seeing the evidence is the ultimate sleazebag. Sleazy bag. Yeah. You said that though, not me. I never said those words. I never. Y'all check into Barron's history a little bit. Just take a look at it. Just take a look. See what kind of cases, who he's represented. Gavin McInnes. I like Gavin McInnes, by the way. But he represented Gavin McInnes in a defamation suit and lost. Lost. And he also represented Ali Alexander for the whole Stop the Steal thing. If you guys don't know who Ali Alexander is, or the accusations made against Ali Alexander, you guys should Google that. Take a look. Take a look at the kind of people Baron Coleman is okay with, apparently. Although I'm pretty sure, you know what? We're just going to stop right there. You guys can Google that. Yes. There's a reason that the cliche exists that everybody hates lawyers until they need one. Baron Coleman is a prime example of why that cliche exists. Yes. Samantha, I've heard that. I'm pretty sure it's in there's some documents that clarify this, but I don't want to say with certainty that he was a federal informant because I believe he denies it. But there's definitely something there. ARDR. I love the glitter suits. I thought it was awesome. Yeah, I think a lot of people did. Whitney, hey, you're live. Hey, I'm almost done. But that's okay. I think you'd catch the replay if you want. It was Hodgetwins and Candace Owens episode. And I don't know. You'll just have to watch. Yes. Super late. I probably got about another 5 minutes and then I really have to go to the restroom. Kathleen Kelly, Ian Carroll's creepy ass obsessed with the files. Gets a pass to watch abuse without actually participating in it. Gets a pass to watch? Okay, maybe. So here's what I will say about Ian. Ian Carroll, I understand why people watch Ian. It makes total sense to me. I don't know that he's like a plant or a fed, but up until he started doing this weird stuff with TPUSA, Erika Kirk, and Charlie and everything, like the fact that he pointed to Israel doesn't surprise me at all. And I guess I expected Ian to do that. But for the most part, I understand why people watch Ian. Ian is entertaining. And Ian does, even though like the Epstein stuff is definitely where Ian belongs. Does that make sense? Like he belongs with his weird autism, just digging through those 3 million or 3.5 million files and just finding stuff to talk about. That's where he belongs. That's definitely his strong suit. He's and I've done a few videos on Ian pointing out all the crap he gets wrong with this Charlie Kirk stuff. Like he does not, this is not his bag. Epstein, stuff like that. That's definitely where he shines. I suppose. Please hit the like. Please hit the like and say hi in the chat. If you want. If you don't, that's okay too. Mama Owl Bear, you for amazing? I'm assuming what you're meaning to say is you are amazing, in which case I say thank you. Sav smiles. I used to like Heavy Duty Country until he did that video about Tatum and Israel. I didn't even know who Heavy Duty Country was until this whole Charlie Kirk stuff popped off. Had no idea. Had never heard of him before. $2 super chat from Kathleen Kelly. Fantastic thumbnail today. I can't take any of the credit. ChatGPT did all of the work. All of the work. I put in the prompts, it does the work. Not all the time. Most of my stuff I try to do myself, but playing with AI is fun. BestDB, 294 likes is an excellent ratio. If you say so. I have no idea. Amethyst, Bronson, meet us in the Discord later. If you know, you know. I don't know. I don't at all. I am out of the loop. Why is that funny? ChatGPT is a great resource. Ben, Bronson, I saw the sock puppet in the thumbnail. That was for you. That was for you, buddy. It was all for you. Oh, that must be a conversation that I am not privy to. I agree. What Discord? Spill it, Amethyst. Spill it. Oh, yeah. See, that went right over my head. Right over my head. Betsy B, I have so many friends that use Chat GPT as their therapist. They're all, I mean, that makes sense. I believe that. Who would even think of that? Like, I'm going to put in my problems to Chat GPT and like, what? Listen, I think AI's best purpose is for memes and crazy stuff. Not like, I think people are taking it a little too seriously. All right, guys, I think we're going to call it. I want to say thank you. I really appreciate it showing up to my first ever live stream. You guys are the best. Definitely made that a lot more, what's the word I'm looking for? Easily palatable than just me sitting here by myself trying to watch Candace Owens talk and react to it. Way better when I have you guys involved. Not going to lie. So, once again, I want to say thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for all the wonderful comments in the super chats. I really appreciate it. Again, I do just want to say, do not feel obligated to super chat. If you cannot afford a super chat, don't worry about it. There's a solid chance I'm going to see your comment and read it and probably try to pull it up on screen and talk about it, whether you super chatted or not. But super chats are absolutely appreciated, and I am super grateful for it. So, I've taken up enough of your weekend. I'm going to let you guys get back to doing whatever it was that you were planning on doing on this wonderful Friday evening. Thank you for watching. We'll catch you in the next one, guys.